Hi everybody, I'm Jack and this is Raw Tropical Living. Thanks for joining me today. I was just getting back from the gym and I remembered I talked about doing this video a couple of weeks ago. Now this is one, like I say, I'm not a personal trainer. You got to clear with people whether you're in physical condition to be doing exercise or whatever. So anytime I just show any part of workouts or whatever, I just want to throw that in there. I'm no personal trainer. Make sure you do all the appropriate steps before you start an exercise program. Anyhow, this one, the Russian twist, I wanted to show because it's just a simple one. It's one, I think it's a core exercise. Some people like to call it abs, but I like to think of the whole core because your core is more than what just your abs are. The core is like this whole girdle that goes around the pelvis area. Russian twist, they incorporate everything. They use all the muscles of the core. That includes the lower back, the abs, the obliques, the diaphragm, and the inner thighs. And unlike crunches, your back is never on the floor. It's off the floor the entire time, which keeps your core engaged. Now I'm gonna show you a couple of variations on this. And hey, if you're thinking like, well, I'm not even really exercising, why would I necessarily do a core workout or core training? And I'll tell you, everything comes from your core. Your core basically keeps you going. It's right in the middle of your body. I mean, you know, it's responsible for your posture. I mean, it's where, you know, it helps protect your back from back injuries. It's just, you definitely want, I mean, there's a lot of advantages to having a strong core. Now, like I say, you might even want to check, if you decide to do this, check somebody else's form because, you know, I'm not always perfect. And I'm going to show you kind of a beginner version. And if you really have a problem with this, you can get somewhere where you put your feet, either put your feet under something secure or have somebody hold your feet for you. Now, the first, just more of a kind of a, what I would call a beginner way of doing this is just to simply, and what you're going to do, feet out in front of you like this, and you're going to lean back just a little bit on those sit bones until you can kind of feel your abs, your core engaging. Now, in the beginner stages, this might be enough. No weights, no nothing. Your feet on the floor, and just simply, you want to twist from side to side. But you want to make sure that that twist is coming from the core, and you're not just, you know, bouncing around. One thing I've learned doing this convict conditioning program and starting to do this body weight training, and I was noticing that in the gym this morning using weights, is I've gotten past that ego shit where you're just trying to crank stuff out. I like to feel every single rep that I'm doing, so I tend to do things a little bit slower and just like really get that feel. So, you know, keep your head in front of you so you don't get dizzy, and just more like bring those hands down about to your waist right there. But like I say, try to make sure that you're coming from the core. And just start out with what you can do, what feels good for you. I like that idea of like, don't go to failure. If you do it the first time, don't go to failure. Do it till you feel like really challenged, and then stop. And as you do it several times, you'll kind of get into the groove of where you need to be training. I don't necessarily do a set amount of reps, and I don't necessarily do a set time. Some people will do that. Some people will combine these with high-intensive interval training and, you know, do this as part of that. But I would just say in the beginning, feel yourself out. Just go, you know, see how many you can do. And when it gets tough, do a little bit more, and then stop. Now, I normally do about 3 sets of these, but I'm going to show you here a little bit of a variation. Now, to make it a little bit more challenging, you can take the feet off the floor, but you still want to, and that's the one thing I'm always looking at. I like having this camera. I should do this more. You want to make sure that back is up. You don't want to be slumped. You don't want to be slumped over. You want to make sure that back is up and you're engaged. So you put the legs up like this, and then it's like this. That would be step 2, and then the third step I've already worked out, so I'm not going to do too many of these, but then the third step would be feet off the floor and using a weight. And I crank those out. I mix those in. I don't, you know, I'm playing with the core right now. I do my, you know, I have an exercise I do from convict conditioning that I do for the core, and I do that on those days. So I'd say probably I train core 3 times a week, maybe sometimes 4, but core is like, sometimes people want to crank out the abs or do abs or core every single day, but abs are like other muscles. They need that rest, and I used to do them every day. I used to crank them out, and I think it would kind of lean out that area, even though you can't lose in one spot. You know that, right? Doing a lot of sit-ups or doing a lot of crunches or doing a lot of these ain't going to make you lose what you got down there. Is all it's going to do is firm up it's just going to firm your core, make your core strong. You still got to get that cardio if you want those abs to show, or if you want it to look like you got a nice lean midsection. So yeah, I do my core about 3 times a week. I'll usually do these. Sometimes I do them after I do my other exercise. I'll show you real quick. I think the third progression on convict conditioning for this, and this one now is just kind of a bent leg raise. It's just so sometimes I do them in the same day. Sometimes I will do that one, and then I will do my Russian twist in the same day. Sometimes I will do those. I will do the Russian twist the next day. But more or less, I'm getting about 3 or 4 sessions in on the core, and I really can feel that. And everything, it helps in a lot of other areas too. Like I find everything you do in yoga, it helps to have a strong core. I'm even finding my headstands. I'm finding a lot of different moves in yoga that are easier as my core gets stronger. But anyhow, like I say, I just wanted to show you this little simple exercise today. Maybe for some of you that are running, maybe all you do is run or do a little simple exercise. If you want to throw something in there for your core, like I say, you'll get the best of both worlds. If you're getting lean, it's going to look good. You're going to start. It'll look good to be nice and tight and have a little muscle down there. But more than anything else, the core is one of the most functional areas to work in your body. Everything comes from your core, and it's very important to have a strong core. Anyhow, I hope you guys like this video. If you like it, give me a thumbs up. Hope you'll subscribe to the channel, and I hope you're having a wonderful week. Peace.